Dave, please don't tell this to Beef. I'm gonna show it on screen, and I'm not gonna say that you're gonna say Beef is gonna be good, because no one's gonna believe that.
No one would ever believe that. Okay, I've never been good in my life. Okay, I've only been bad at being good, or good at being bad, or one of the two. Who knows?
Our friend Beef Wellington Pendel from the Career Compass. He is the trainer of realtors throughout the state of California. Number one trainer of realtors.
Oh, I'm the assistant bucket holder to the janitor on probation, in training. That's what I am for the entire state of California. Yes. It's amazing. We just did a survey the other day, and it looks like that this ugly mug of mine actually speaks to more realtors face to face than any person in the state of California. And that $1.25 will get me on the bus across town. So I've got that.
Not with inflation. Now you need $1.50.
That's true. So $1.50, and my face will get me on the bus. And so I do speak to a lot of realtors. Not sure if it's doing any good, but you never know. And by the way, before I forget, did you mention sarcastically just now, Ron, that Al Gore did not invent the internet? Because he did, and I can prove it right here, right now. You want me to do it?
Yes.
Well, that's why they call them algorithms. There you go. Good morning, everybody. Wake up.
Wait a second. I think I.
Hey. All right. I'll be here all week. Tip your waitress. Try the veal.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Okay.
Yeah, you and me both.
So, what do you think? Did I could totally confuse everybody with that thought on what's going on with Silicon Valley Bank?
Oh no, not at all, Ron. No, everybody just was hung on every word and understand that completely. My God, sure. Are you kidding?
Basically, the banks just need money.
The banks need money. Wow. Is that a rhetorical statement? Is that a circular statement? How does that? The banks need money.
And they can't get it, right?
Isn't that where we put our money in the first place? And they need more money.
And they need more.
I got it.
So,
okay.
And the Federal Reserve is going to help.
Well, the Federal Reserve, where they create money. Oh, wait, they print money. Or they just invent it out of thin air.
See, the beauty of it, since Al Gore invented the internet, we don't need to print it. We just say, okay, my balance sheet is now not 1 trillion, it's 2 trillion.
That's the whole thing.
We just keep spending it.
Yeah. Well, instead of printing money, just move the decimal in everybody's bank account and everybody will be fine. There you go. You don't have to invent it. You just move the decimal. It's all electronic anyway.
Isn't that crazy?
It is.
It's amazing how this whole thing goes down. But, the bottom line, though, is for those that are involved in real estate or, have been waiting to get in, it should be good, should be helpful, just because interest rates are going to have to come down. And it's going to make things more affordable for people.
Well, the whole idea, and you mentioned it before, the whole idea of raising interest rates to curb inflation, it's like we all know that's a dotted line effect. I mean, the way I liken it is if your bedroom is cold, lighting your neighbor's house on fire to warm up your bedroom is the same thing as raising inflation rates to curb or raising interest rates to curb inflation. There's a dotted line, but those two things don't have to exist in the world, because there have been many administrations where we had very, very low inflation and very, very low interest rates. So we all know that those two things can coexist.
Sure, exactly. And so the big issue here becomes, what are we going to do to get the inflation down now? And we've got a big fight. So here's the fight that's going on that nobody really wants to talk about. The fight is that the Federal Reserve is trying to raise rates to curb inflation. Inflation is too much money chasing too few goods. Yet the fiscal policy says, let's spend more money.
Well, maybe if we weren't giving away so much money to entities and things outside of our U.S. border, maybe that might help. Just want to throw that out there. But then again, what the heck do I know? No, I'm sure that wouldn't help. No, let's go keep giving billions and billions of dollars to foreign governments. And I want to ask you a question. Why don't other countries do that? Why is it that it's the only country that does that, at least to the extent that we do it, is the United States? Why is that? I mean, it's unbelievable. It's almost like we have so much money, we want to give it to other people when we don't have so much money. It's just
like $30-some in debt, right?
Yeah, 30 trillion and counting.
Yeah. So the irony is, so we're sending money to Ukraine, and not really sending money. We're sending equipment, mostly equipment going to Ukraine. Ukraine is fighting Russia. We're having to deal with China sending a virus to kill us, and they're sending pills to Mexico to send across the border to kill us. And now China is going to go to Ukraine and broker a deal with Russia.
Yeah.
How does this all work?
Please explain this whole chess match to me. It's totally amazing, the logic here.
I mean, you just have to, and nobody questions these things. Where's the, and I'm,
we question them all the time. No one's listening, and nor do they care.
That's the whole issue. I mean, the media, I'm part of it. I guess I've got to be careful, but the media doesn't want to question it. We just have 7 listeners, but the media doesn't want to question all the issues as to why is this happening? What's going on? Why would we send $400 billion worth of equipment to Ukraine so that China can go over there and work with them? Something doesn't add up.
It all doesn't add up.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that part's true. But the bottom line here is we've got to watch these issues. Is that going to now? If we stop sending that money over there, maybe it's just so we can, when you go to the grocery store and you look at the milk, and if they don't put the old milk in the back, the front milk gets stale, so they've got to rotate their stock.
Got to rotate the milk.
Is that so? Do we have to rotate the tanks and
probably
and the bombs and all that? I don't know, but it does help, I guess, create some jobs somewhere.
Big rotation of death.
There you go. And it's amazing how we continue to do it, and are we getting ahead with it? That's the question mark. But is it going to help us with our real estate? That's on our own. How do we bring that all the way down from the absurd to what does it mean for us in real
less
estate?
Absurd?
There you go.
From absurd to relatively absurd.
How do you see it the way I'm looking at it, Beef, with the concept of it will help real estate value, maybe not values, but affordability?
I absolutely do, and I hope it does, because right now we have a lot of people out there that, especially these young people, millennials and other people, aka the end of Western civilization as we know it, the millennials and the Generation Z, who are like, oh my God, 5, 6, 7% interest rates. Oh no, folks. I mean, Ron and I are old enough, unfortunately, to remember 1981 when if you had good credit, you were paying 17% interest rates. I mean, it's unbelievable. I remember back in 1991. 1995. I got a call from an LO, just like you, wanting to drum up
loan officer.
Sorry, everybody, loan officer. Yeah, wanting to drum up refi business. So he just had a list he was calling, and he goes, "Hey, I want to adjust your rate and save you money." I'm like, "All right, what do you got?" And he goes, "Well, what do you got?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "What's your current rate?" I said, 5.95. This was 1995. He goes, 5.95. He goes, "Wow, I can't touch that within a point," and he hung up. So that was a great rate then. It's just that in the last 10 years, we've been so spoiled by interest rates that are artificially low. And now these kids think that, oh my gosh, you got to pay 5, 6, and 7%. Historically, interest rates are actually still lower than the historical average if you average out everything out there. So for those people out there who think that it's a terrible time to buy a house, it's the best time to buy a house, not only because
second best, Beef.
Second best?
Second best time to buy a house. And we're going to talk about
what's the first one?
We're going to talk about that when we come back. So we are chatting this morning. Beef Wellington Pendel from the Career Compass is with us. He goes out there and chats with real estate agents all day, every day, helping them. And we're going to get to this in a minute. He shows them a tremendous strategy, which you've heard several times on Ron Siegel Radio. Sometimes I even tell you that I borrowed it from Beef. But he's the one that came up with this. But before we went to the break, we were chatting about 2 issues that I want to circle back on. No, don't call me. What's her name? What was the gal's name? The previous press secretary.
the gal
that
St. Pierre.
No, the one before that.
Oh,
that was just circle back on everything.
Jen Stock.
Jen Stock, yeah.
Stacky, yeah.
Yeah. So circling back in any
my favorite was one before that, which was a McEnany, who was just hot coming and going mentally and visually. Amazing woman.
Yes, very good. Okay, so I said that it's the second best time to buy.
Well, I actually wanted to ask about your definition of equity. That's how they defined it. Is the part of your mortgage you've paid off? Wouldn't it be the part of your
the difference between that current value?
Yeah.
Less your encumbrance.
Okay, because you're saying is the part that you paid off, like, wouldn't it be the part you paid off plus the appreciation in the house?
Yeah, both issues. Exactly. So second best time to buy, because I'm going to suggest that about a year ago was the best time to buy.
Really?
Maybe 2 years ago.
Why a year ago?
Well,
prices were still really high.
Prices were lower than they are today.
Okay.
And interest rates were lower than they are today. But we can't turn the clock back. We can only buy based on where they are now. That's why I say that today is the best. I agree with you. Today's the second best because you can't turn the clock back.
When's the best time to invest in real property? Right now. Always right now.
Yeah.
I don't care what happens. Over time, it's always the best thing to do.
And the best time to sell it is about 3,000 years. because it's going to be higher than it is today.
3,000 years.
Right? I mean, so it comes down to what's your family's goals and needs, right? If you're looking at it as a place to live, okay. If you're looking at it as a place to invest, okay. It's all about what your family needs. That's the whole issue. Now, you made a comment before, Beef, about interest rates were artificially low.
Yep. Artificially low in 2020 and 2021, because otherwise we're all going to die. We're all during lockdown, and oh my gosh. So not only did the government come in and give us 2.5% interest rates on 30-year fixed, and even lower than that on VAs and 15 years. I mean, did you see the 15-year rate back in 2021? It was 1.89.
Change, yeah.
I mean, my God, that's not just free money. That's money coming back to you. That's just wow.
Well, and as long as everybody was making money at it, you can keep it there forever until it got to the point where you start printing money. Right. I mean, if you're not printing more money, but you keep those bonds low, it becomes a market issue, right? The market, if there's not enough, the price will go up. If there's too few, the price will go down. It'll just become a supply and demand issue.
Well, I mean, yeah, and the whole idea that the interest rates were super, super low during COVID. I mean, why do you think that was?
Because people were buying still stuff then, and the Fed just got out of the way.
If you lock people down in their houses and keep telling them that it's 2 weeks to flatten the curve, and that never happens over 2 years, no one's going to buy, no one's going to sell, no one's going to do anything because they're sitting at home waiting for things to end, which are not going to be ending. So if you lower the interest rates, not only do you create this massive amount of demand of people who never were able to buy a house, but oh my God, 2.5 rate. I mean, you know this. I mean, what was your refi business like in 2020 and 2021, Ron?
Huge.
Yeah, huge. A lot of people. Oh my God, people were making LOs were becoming millionaires just in refi businesses. It was amazing.
And the beauty of it now is it's all strategic, because I was talking to a veteran last week, and we ended up helping him with a 2.25% interest rate, 30 years fixed. Love that, right? I mean, so he's
wait, last week you got
he and I were talking last week.
Oh, okay.
That's where his rate is.
Oh yeah, 2.25.
Is at 2.25. Is he gonna ever sell that? Well, I hope not, or is he gonna ever give up on that? No, because you can't get that money again.
Well, hold on. You're right. You can't get that money. But if people bought in 2020 and 2021, and here's what most people don't think about. Let's say I got a fantastic interest rate, and you know as well as I do that you date the rate and marry the house, which is another reason why you should buy now, because we know that interest rates are going to fluctuate. But you can buy a house for less expensive than 2020 and 21 when you're getting nothing but $200,000-$300,000 over asking in one of these in the affluent areas.
Sure.
But think about it this way: if you've got a house that is you bought for $200,000 to $300,000 over its, let's say, realistic value, because things are going crazy in 2020, 21,
sure,
but you have this 2.25% interest rate that you don't want to get rid of. Is that really financially viable? What would be better, especially if somebody is an empty nester and wanted to move down in house price? They're better off taking a 6 or 7% interest rate, lowering their overall monthly payment, putting some equity in the bank or something like that, and getting rid of that 2.25%, even though it's a great rate, but it's on a house, it's on an asset that was overinflated to start with.
Well, I would say I agree to a certain extent, because there are right now, if you've got that property, what I've come across many times lately is, okay, so you've got this house that maybe you paid more than you should have.
Yeah.
But you've got a rate that's so low that you could go out and rent it with a positive cash flow and take some of the equity out of it and buy another property and still keep that one, because 10 years from now, that price, you're going to wish you had paid that price. You would wish you could buy it for, even though you paid an inflated price.
Well, in 10 years, yeah. But think about it this way. Let's say I bought a house that has a realistic value of $1 million, but I paid 1.2 because of the interest rates that we had way back when.
Okay.
All right. Can I really rent that out for a positive cash flow?
If I'm on a 2% interest rate or 3% interest rate, probably.
Well, okay, let me ask you this. What would you rather have? A $1.2 million house at 2.2% interest, or a $900,000 house at 6%? That's good.
2.2.
Really? Okay.
Because I actually went through, because that was one of the memes that was going around for a long time.
Yeah.
And I went through and I actually did all the numbers. I am a numbers nerd. And
somebody do the numbers for us on that. Okay. I want a $900,000 house at 6% and a $1.2 million house at at 2.2%. What is the monthly payment on both those things?
What was the loan amount on the higher one?
Okay, 1.2 at 2.5%. Okay, or 900,000 at 6.
Okay, so we can do that pretty quick here and come up with numbers.
Who's got a mortgage calculator here for
I've
us?
got one right here.
All right.
It just takes me a second to open up because we weren't. So on $900,000. Now we're talking about loan amount, not
Just say
property value.
loan amount, because
Otherwise
the
I can't.
the down payment's going to vary. So let's say you got a loan amount of 1.2 million versus a loan amount of 900,000 at those two interest rates.
95 is your 900,000 at 6%.
It's 53.95. Okay.
And if we go at 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and we do that at 2.5, 47, 41.
Okay. So the 900,000 is slightly more, right?
Right.
Okay. Now here's the point, and this is it makes total sense. Take the $900,000 house. What is the chance of you being able to refi that house in the future within the next 3 years?
High. Absolutely.
Down to what? Maybe 4%. Okay.
Sure.
Now do 900 at 4%.
Wait a second. I want to do this one here. This one here is giving us a $654 a month savings.
Right.
Now you said, which one do you want me to go at 4%?
Okay. Now we're gonna fast forward 3 years, and we're gonna take the $900,000 house that is currently at 6%, and we're gonna refinance it at, let's just say it's 4.
That comes out to $42.96.
Okay. There. So now you've got a high payment at the 6, a medium payment at the 1.2, and a low payment $42.96 on the 4. So this right here, all said and done, if you kept the house for 30 years, is a better investment than this one, right? Because you
Over
only
how
pay,
much time?
Well, you only pay the additional $654 for 3 years while this interest rate came down.
But this one's going up at 5.35%, and this one's going up at 5.35%. So you're going to end up making more money on the 1.2 over time because you got 300,000 times 5.35.
Okay, well, that's a good question. Is this the same house, or are these two different houses?
No, I'm using it on the same house.
If it's the same house, I bought this one for 900.
And this is going to go up. They're both going up at 5. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, so then you're looking at the spread also coming in there.
Yeah, because if these are
But you can't buy them at 900 right now.
You can't.
You're saying these. Well, I don't know which area that you're talking about, but I haven't seen any place that property values have dropped 25%.
Okay. You mean
you've seen the areas where property values
Sure.
have dropped 25%?
Yes, from 2020, 2021 rates. Yeah. Now, is that statewide? No. But what is the statewide average? Now, when you think about that, think about areas like La Jolla that hasn't come down one bit.
So then they're still at 1.2.
Yeah, big time. I just talked to a realtor the other day, and she's like, I'm still getting, even at the interest rates we have right now, I'm still listing it at 1.2 and still getting offers $100,000 over.
Okay, so then that 1.2 wasn't overpriced then.
Not in that area. Okay, but
well, if you're talking Austin, Texas, or San Jose, California, or Idaho, there are those 4 cities where
if we're going to talk about how much houses have come down, what is anybody out there? If anybody's, go ahead and chime in on the Ron Siegel radio show here. What is the average house price reduction in the last 12 months in the state of California? Is it been 10%, 8%, 15%? Because here's why, because it's a mix. So La Jolla hasn't come down any, but Palmdale has come down 30%. And I'm not bashing on Palmdale. It's a very nice town. I was out there for their melanoma festival. Very nice. But point being is you're talking about the areas here. So in the bread and butter areas, okay, bread and butter areas are not La Jolla, Carlsbad, Beverly Hills, San Mateo, and everything else like that. Those bread and butter areas are like, okay, let's talk Murrieta. Okay, let's take La Mesa. Let's take Santee.
We're going to do a couple of those in that minute when we come back. Let's get back to our conversation. Oh, let me put this in here because I'm
going to go do the bracket.
Go for it. So I wanted to chat with you.
Who do you like? Who do you like in the Final Four?
Probably Alabama.
Yeah?
I think they might be the one.
All right.
So I wanted, because we're probably not going to get to it, have enough time. I'm going to have Beef come on and chat about this because we've gotten on some sidetracks today. Go to rsrsalesmax.com, rsrsalesmax.com. I don't do it as well as Beef does in chatting about how the cut rate brokers are cutting your prices, your net value on real estate. If you go to a cut rate broker, a 6550 or a flat rate or 1% listing or all these other things, those are geared to make the agent money quickly and not maximize your value of your real estate. Half the stuff that's in there, I adopted from a lot of the trainings that I've attended where Beef's taught it. And, he's the master. I'm the pupil. And Sensei here still has it better. But rsrsalesmax.com, we'll have Beef come back and talk about that. But we were chatting about the idea of investing in real estate before the break. And, there's a lot of things going on in real estate. And Wellington is really completely accurate in the fact that whatever interest rate you get today is really not going to be what you're going to hold long term. We're going to see interest rates go back down again. I hope they don't ever go back into the 2s or 3s, because that means our economy is not doing well. So hopefully they don't go there. 4s would not surprise me. 5s will be sooner than later. That doesn't mean wait, because real estate values are still going up in so many areas. But, you and I were chatting in the quick break right there, that there are certain areas property values are diminishing.
There are areas, and of course, when property values diminish because we're having a bad economy, where do they diminish first? In the outlying areas. Okay, of course, in the heavily populated areas, that's the last place to go. So if you want to invest in real estate, if that's your idea. Oh, and by the way, you're right about the whole discounters, these 1% realtors, these iBuyers, the Open Doors, the Offer Pads, the Zillows of the world. These people, just so you'll know, those transactions are designed to put money in their pocket as quick as possible. Even if they're cutting their rate, the more money you make, the faster you make it. You're still making money. Time is money.
Sure.
So every discounter out there,
they make money.
They make money. You are not making money. Okay, that is not how to maximize the equity in your house. Not how to maximize. Even their own numbers show it. And if you are a realtor, real estate professional, or even an owner, you can go to The Career Compass, which is where I work, thecareercompass.com. And our training basically shows with their own numbers, with these discounters' own numbers, that you make less money based on the cut in your equity selling a house quicker. It's just the way it works.
And that's the bottom line is just think about the concept. Here's the concept. Everybody wants to make money. People are not in this to give away their services.
Right.
So if they're selling at 1%, you have to ask yourself why. And the answer to that question is they can sell 2 houses or 3 houses real quick, and the consumer gets less than the best pricing.
Definitely less than the best pricing. Definitely less than the best negotiation. Basically, the fact that they're selling it quick is a sacrifice to your equity. There you go. Just think about it.
There you go. Sacrifice to your equity and the money in your pocket.
That's right.
So you were talking, go on, because we only have a couple minutes, Beef, about the concept. Now, I talk right now, why would anybody want to invest in real estate in Los Angeles?
Well, that's a good point. Just today, and you saw the report just today, the government came out and said most of the big cities in our country are ungovernable. That's what they said. They said, no, it's not because of Democrat policies. It's not because of looting and rioting and, these smash mobs. No, it's ungovernable. Okay. Thank you. Your Chicago mayor, Lori Lightfoot, wasn't she a delight, and wasn't she effective? Not. Anyway, point being is most, if you're going to talk about price reductions because of a bad economy, inflation, it hits the outlying areas first, as always.
Sure.
Okay. So if you can buy a house for 5, 10, 15% below its market value or what it was a year ago, that's where you want to go. Because right now we have
what if you can't buy it at 5% or 10% below?
Keep shopping because they're out there.
Okay.
And that's the thing is, in my opinion, in the next 3 to 5 years, people are going to start going away from the metro areas because, again, they're ungovernable. And that's going to drive people where? Into the suburbs, into the outlying areas, and prices are going to be going up again. So right now you have, in my opinion, you have a trough and an opportunity. Now, I might be wrong, but again, it won't be the first time in my life.
Sure.
You have an opportunity to buy at a realistic price, might be a slightly higher interest rate, but a realistic price in the outlying areas, refinance it in a couple of years. Now the prices start going up. Now you've got that value, you get the valuable house and the low interest rates. You get the best of both worlds.
Makes a lot of sense. And so one of the areas that Beef and I were talking about during the break was Temecula, California. So we're looking right now, Temecula, California, the 5-year appreciation average is 8.36%. Anomaly. 10 years, 8.23%. But let's look at 63 years, 5.03%. So properties are
Did you say
appreciating out
63
there.
years?
63 years.
Not 64, not 62, 63.
Well, Black Knight gives us 63.
Okay. Is that
Now-
based on something? Is that- all right.
Maybe that's all the time they had as far as data to go back.
I
But
guess.
but they also, well, it makes it an even year. What's that? 1960 goes back to 1960, isn't that? Yeah.
Okay. That makes-
So 1 year forecast is 3.25% appreciation, and 5-year cumulative is 24.64. So the bottom
24.64 on a 5-year cumulative.
cumulative.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
All right.
what the forecasting is showing. So the bottom line here is it's still a good time to buy, which is what you said before.
It is a great time to buy right now. And you realtors out there need to get a hold of your buyers and speak to them. Okay. We have this technique on the Career Compass, our C4, which is our online mentoring and coaching program, called the Buyer's Checkmate. And it's a way to buy now. Use a 3-2-1 or a 2-1 buy down, whatever it is. Buy now, refinance it later. I'm telling you, this is the time to buy. Prices right now you're already starting to recover a little bit. So now is the time to buy. Get a hold of your buyers. Quit letting them tell you that, oh, I want to wait until interest rates go down. No, you don't. You want to buy now, refinance later. Again, the motto in the mortgage business is what? Date the rate and marry the house.
So here's 2 tools for you. Number 1 is, and this is the foundation. So foundation is go to rsrbuydown.com, rsrbuydown.com. That explains what the buy down is. There's 4 different types of buy downs out there. There's temporary buy downs, there's permanent buy downs. Temporary buy downs help with your budget. Permanent buy downs help your budget and your affordability, helping you qualify. But you get that in there. But then what you need to do is go to thecareercompass.com, and you're able to get the checkmate, is what you call it, right?
Yeah, the
Buyer's checkmate.
The buyer's checkmate, which is our newest technique out of over 100 different techniques that we teach for realtors. That's our newest one, and is basically a way to show your buyer that it is a good time to buy right now, even though they think it isn't.
I haven't seen it, but I'm going to go to the Career Compass. It's on the C4. Is that what it is?
It's on the Career Compass and C4. If for any reason you can't find it, just give our office a call, and we'll be happy to help you out with that.
Absolutely. So there's a couple tools for you, and what I'll do is I'll try and find where the link is to it, and we'll put that in the show notes so that you can get a hold of thecareercompass.com and check out the Buyer's Checkmate.